Get to the AFC South, where Houston Texans top that division. I think we all know this one. Like, we don't even have to discuss it really. It's guard, right? Like, it's guard. It is their offensive line. Now it's more than guard, right? It's probably tackle too, but they drafted one last year in Blake Fisher. But it's guard, and it looks like we both have the same guy here in Tyler Booker.
No question, And Tyler was the name I had associated with Baltimore, but I said he's not going to be there at 27. No way in the world.
Too many teams before that need.
Yeah. But this is a significant need. Look at the thing is they lost with Kenyon Green and Shaq Mason, and that offensive line wasn't good anyway a year ago.
Yeah.
So the play wasn't there. Now you have depth concerns because you lost both guys. And if you can get Tyler Booker here, he's a day one starter, Mike, right now. Massive individual. He plays with a mean streak. And he's tough. He's solid, great foundation. Day one starter for Houston. This would be a great pick for the Texans.
Yeah, we were both in agreement there. It just, I don't always advocate drafting for need, but one, I think Booker is that good. And two, it's like, you're in this window with CJ Stroud that's like, you better hit right now, especially with the way this offensive line is, because if you don't hit right now at a guard position, your offensive line's worse than it was last year.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, maybe you can scheme around it better than Bobby Slowick did. Maybe that's the case, and maybe it's not, doesn't come to be as big an impact. But like, we just saw what happened to the Chiefs. You can't have Super Bowl aspirations right now with a liability offensive line. And on paper, that's a liability offensive line.
Mm-hmm. Right there with you.
Get to the Indianapolis Colts.
Yeah.
Where I think they did a great job along the defensive side of the ball, addressing stuff. But I do think offensively is where I'm looking. Where are you looking?
I think the most glaring need, Mike, for the Colts is offensive line. But at 14, it could be a guy available where you don't pass up on him, and that player is Tyler Warren.
Yes.
I think Tyler Warren would definitely, realistically speaking, he would be available at 14 for the Colts. If that's the case, you sprint that card in with his name on it and draft him in the first round. You can attack the offensive line concerns later in the draft, but Tyler Warren is you can't say no to him at 14. So I have Cincy. I mean, I keep saying Cincy. I don't know why. Maybe Cincinnati's going to try to trade up to the 14th pick. Maybe that's what's happening. Harry, clip and save this, because if Cincinnati trade up to the 14th pick, I need to go play the lottery instantly.
Yeah.
But
your number should be 14.
No question. There you have it. That's what my number's going to be. Facts. I have 14 Colts taking Tyler Warren.
Yeah, I'm with you there. And I do think actually tight end's even like their biggest need. You drafted Jelani Woods 2022, but he has not, back-to-back seasons where he's missed the entire season with injury. At that point, it's like you can't rely on that guy. Interior offensive line, I think they have names that they can backfill for losing Ryan Kelly, for losing Will Fries. I think guard is probably a need, but it's not one I'm addressing. Probably a pick 14 for them, unless maybe like Will Campbell, Kellen Banks falls into their lap. But tight end, Tyler Warren, perfect fit for that offense. Another weapon for Anthony Richardson. Truly like gives them one of the best receiving cores in the NFL with him. But also, I think the bigger thing is he is a great blocker. Yes. He is a guy built to add to that running game, which is their bread and butter, and block on the move, lead out for Anthony Richardson, block in line, lead out for Jonathan Taylor. Like, there is a lot of things that he can do as a blocker and as a gadget guy that, in Shane Steichen's offense, he could be running the Philly special stuff. He can be throwing the football. You as a former high school quarterback, like, you can design trick plays and gadget plays around him the way they did at Penn State that can be effective. So for so many different reasons, he's one of, my favorite fits in the draft, him going to the Colts.
Yep. And he will be, for the Colts fans, diehard fans, who already have a 44 jersey, you just got to change the Clark and put Warren, for the Dallas Clark fans out there who rep Dallas when he wore 44 for the Indianapolis Colts.
Easy peasy. All right, Jacksonville Jaguars. A lot of needs on this team. Where are you going?
Oh, I got Jacksonville. You can thank me later, but this is what you should do. This is where you need to go. At 5, you had the 5th pick in the first round. Glaring needs. But me personally, I think you attract the defensive line here and you go get Mason Grimm.
Yep.
The best interior defensive lineman in the draft. Now think about this, Jaguar fans that are watching us. Let me give you a vision real quick. Just look up into the clouds, right? You probably got good sunshine right now in Duval. So look up into the clouds and see that sun coming out. So just think about this as terms of a defensive line. Eric Armstead, Josh Hines Allen, Travon Walker, and Mason Grimm. Think about that. Think about how you're gonna feel. Y'all can put me in the secondary and just let me just roam the secondary a little bit because I ain't got to do much. Those guys gonna do everything you need them to do plus more. And you know Travon Walker probably gonna be super mad and angry because they already threw his name out. I don't know if it's real or not in some type of trade rumors. You know he highly motivated. Eric Armstead, a massive 3 technique. Then you put him with Mason, he can learn. Josh, oh my goodness, Hines Allen. Ooh, ain't nothing to think about, Jacksonville. Don't screw this up.
That one, I honestly think the top 5. So if we assume Cam Ward goes 1, if we assume Shedeur Sanders goes 3, I think the top 5 picks itself. I don't think so. Abdul Carter to the Browns, Travis Hunter to the Pats, and then Mason Graham to the Jags are like, they just seem like no-brainers in my opinion.
Don't do it.
So, yeah, I am right there with you. My biggest need, though, I do think D-tackle, big need. But I look at this safety group, and I'm like, my Lord, they need to upgrade. They took a guy in Eric Murray in free agency that Texans fans wanted out the door. They got Darnell Savage at safety who Packers fans wanted out the door.
Yeah,
they don't have a guy back there, and especially a guy who can be a value add in the run game. So I have Kevin Winston Jr., the Penn State safety, at pick 70. I think that would be the perfect fit for what they need defensively.
Hey, unfortunately for Kevin, he got injured.
Yes.
Because if he didn't get injured, he would be well off the board, well before third round or whatever the case may be, where they see his value. He can ball. He was one of my favorite defenders. I mean, going back 2 years ago, remember he had number 21, if I'm not mistaken, for Penn State, and he changed to a single digit, number 2, I think, if I'm not mistaken, this year. Number 2, if I'm not mistaken. But that dude, he plays football the right way. When he gets to the ball carrier, he has bad intentions. He will put that Rydell in the middle of your chest. He's one of my favorite defenders. Unfortunately, he freaking got hurt. And think about this. Think about how much money he would have earned, especially with how good Penn State was, getting all the way to the playoffs. And they did it without him. Kudos to Penn State because they had a lot of great defenders on that defense. But Kevin Winston, in my opinion, for sure, he was the second best player on their defense behind Abdul Carter. And if Abdul wasn't there, he would have been the first.
Yeah. If they had him against Notre Dame does not run that football on him in the second half the way they did.
No.
If they had him against Ohio State in the Natty, it's like this could have been. Man, it really was. He's that good, in my opinion. I'm right there with you. I have him as a top 50 player. And again, he's what the doctor ordered for the Jags.
Check this out, viewers. Go watch Kevin's game against Michigan in 2023. Go watch his tape against Michigan. Just watch that game and let us know. Let us know what you think. If you think I'm lying, I'm flying. And the last time I checked, I ain't flew yet. Michigan 2023. I'm still here grounded.
And he's got like traits too. He's got like massive wingspan.
I love his game.
Big dude. So
I love his game.
For the Jags' sake, he's still there on the board. Last one in the AFC South here, Tennessee Titans. Cam Ward QB. We have the same answer here. I went and added a second one though, because everyone knows it's that. Everyone knows it's Cam Ward at this point. After Cam had a roll into his left, he went out and said something to Mike Borgonzi, the Titans' new GM.
Yeah, he did.
Something I can think we all assume it was something about draft me or you're going to regret it, because he's been telling everyone that. But they laughed. He's going to be the pick, in my opinion. But then it comes to pick 35. It's what's next, and it's wide receiver. They need to be the team that takes that, whichever one of these wide receivers falls, because everyone's predicting like Luther Burden or Emeka Egbuka or one of these guys that's getting borderline first round hype to fall out of the first round entirely. Pick 35, Tennessee Titans, they need to be right there ready to scoop them up. that needs to be their entire draft plan, because you get that, you built the offensive line in free agency, but that wide receiver position after Calvin Ridley, it's pretty gross.
I'm right there with you. I've been so confused about Tennessee. All the wide receivers that were available via free agency that you can really get at a good price, team-friendly price, you decided to bring in Van Jefferson. No knock on Van Jefferson, but he really ain't going to answer too many questions for you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? What are you doing? And you had money to play with. Think about all the notable names that were available via free agency at the wide receiver position, and that's who you brought in. Come on. To your point, if you have a young quarterback, make his life easier while giving him playmakers. Outside of Calvin Ridley, who can you call in a time of need outside of Calvin Ridley? Nobody. Shouts out to Keith Sweat, by the way. So yes, second round pick, they got to go get a wide receiver. That makes all the sense in the world. And I still would address maybe bringing in a vet also that, needs a home. They still has some tread left on their tires, because you can't have enough playmakers, especially you got a young quarterback.